Think about that. Think about the truth of your argument.
Gina Carano. Gina Carano found success with roles on shows like The Mandalorian.
Well, looks like they're happy to see us.
Looks like.
While her performance was praised, her opinions about subjects like voter fraud and preferred pronouns drew criticism.
Unless you want to go another round. One of us is going to have to move on, and I was here first.
In 2021, Carano implied that disliking people for their political views was similar to how Nazis treated Jewish people during World War II. This post pushed Lucasfilm to announce the actress would no longer be on The Mandalorian.
Saying, quote, Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future.
Carano attempted to bounce back in the fall of 2021 with a project called White Knuckle. However, she canceled the project due to her disagreements with Hollywood COVID protocols. Carano went on to appear in a limited release film called Terror on the Prairie. She also acted in a controversial dramatization about President Biden's son called My Son Hunter. Isaiah Washington. Isaiah Washington's Dr. Preston Burke seemed to have great chemistry with the other doctors in the show, but a startling report made fans question if he got along with everyone.
This is Ellis Gray's little girl. This is mine. We're all on the same side here, Chief.
According to reports, Washington used a homophobic slur during an angry tirade. Many speculated that the actor used the harmful word to refer to his co-worker T.R. Knight's sexuality. Washington denied that claim and apologized. However, his controversial use of the word during a conversation with press was discussed before he was let go from the show. The actor went on to appear in a variety of TV projects and films since the Grey's Anatomy controversy.
We put 100 kids on the ground. We need to give them time.
There's 76 kids on the ground, Abby. 24 of them, including my son, are already dead.
Although a few of Washington's political posts were criticized, he's still being consistently cast. Ashley Judd. While Ashley Judd was working on the film Kiss the Girls, Harvey Weinstein asked the actress to meet him in his hotel room. He reportedly asked the actress to perform increasingly uncomfortable favors.
I fought with this volley of no's, which he ignored. Who knows, maybe he heard them as maybe he heard them as yeses, maybe they turned him on.
Although Judd got out of the room without meeting his demands, she still suffered negative consequences. In 2017, Lord of the Rings director Peter Jackson alleged she wasn't brought into the franchise because Weinstein said she was a nightmare to work with.
At the time, we had no reason to question what these guys were telling us, but in hindsight, I realized that this was very likely the Miramax smear campaign in full swing.
Actress Mira Sorvino was also kept out of the fantasy films for the same reasons. In recent years, both women have acquired major roles. While Sorvino can be seen in shows like Impeachment, American Crime Story, Judd was recently cast in the timely She Said.
I told my dad, I told my agent, I told the people with whom I was filming that night, and Harvey punished me. I mean, he blackballed my career because I had the wherewithal to refuse him.
Robert Downey Jr. A few years after Robert Downey Jr. made headlines for his Oscar-nominated performance in 1993's Chaplin, he started frequently appearing in the news for much darker reasons. The actor's substance use disorder and numerous arrests became the focus of many of his stories. Although his Golden Globe win on Ally McBeal seemed to bode well for his career, he was removed from the show after he was arrested on suspicion that he'd taken illegal substances.
We could demonstrate that. We could dissolve the garnishment with little argument. That was my reason for asking. I didn't mean to be inappropriate.
Downey Jr. spent the early 2000s working on himself while taking smaller roles. He then soared into the stratosphere with his role as Tony Stark in the MCU.
I am Iron Man.
Between his massive success in that and franchises like Sherlock Holmes, it's safe to say the actor has fully rebounded.
My mind rebels at stagnation. Give me problems, give me work.
Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen's largely successful run on 2.5 Men came to a sudden halt in 2011. The combination of his private issues with substance use disorder and public comments against the studio and show creator led to him being fired. After that news broke, Sheen appeared in a series of troubling interviews.
Your anger and your hate, I think, is coming off as erratic to people.
Passion, my passion.
When he got a new leading role on Anger Management in 2012, his co-star Selma Blair left after alleging the actor was too hard to work with. The show's cancellation in 2014 was followed by allegations that Sheen assaulted Corey Haim in the past. Although the controversial actor only appeared in a few projects after 2017, he was cast in a series called Ramble On in the 2020s.
Winning.
Roseanne Barr. It seems like Roseanne Barr was on the cusp of a career revival when her self-titled show made a strong comeback in March 2018.
If the ratings are any indication, the revival of Roseanne is a smash hit with more than 18 million viewers.
But the direction of the show changed due to her own actions. Just 2 months after the show returned, Barr made a series of negative comments about big political figures that used hateful language and descriptions that were perceived as racist.
ABC Entertainment President Channing Dungey calling Barr's words abhorrent, repugnant, and inconsistent with our values.
The apologies she made weren't enough to stop ABC from canceling her show. While they had success with a spin-off called The Conners, the actress struggled to appear in any scripted works. In 2022, it was announced that the biggest major project Barr would be involved in after the controversy was a Roseanne comedy special for Fox Nation.
The president of Fox Nation said in a statement, Roseanne is a comedy icon whose humor connects with the American audience like no other.
Mel Gibson. After Mel Gibson was stopped under suspicion of driving under the influence in 2006, it was reported that he made an anti-Semitic rant. The bad press from this incident was followed by 4 years where his work was largely absent from the Hollywood spotlight. In 2010, recordings of a slur-filled and violent phone call he directed at then-partner Oksana Grigorieva were released.
Nearly 20 minutes of hate-filled rants, Mel Gibson allegedly threatening his ex-girlfriend Oksana Grigorieva during phone calls she apparently recorded and Radar Online released.
The backlash to his words seemed to cast doubt that he'd be welcomed in Hollywood again.
His comments allegedly get worse, turning to racial slurs, which new reports say led to the William Morris talent agency dropping Gibson.
However, after making a few more appearances, he received universal acclaim for his directing work on Hacksaw Ridge in 2016. Since then, the headlines around Gibson have focused less on his controversies and more on his Hollywood projects.
Now, you've got another film coming up, I hear, but it probably haven't started yet, called The Resurrection. It's a sequel to The Passion of the Christ. Is that true?
It's probably about 3 years off because it's a big subject.
Armie Hammer. Between his celebrated roles in The Social Network and Call Me By Your Name, Hammer seemed poised for a long career.
Or does that mean we're on speaking terms, but not really?
It means we can't talk about those kinds of things. Okay?
But in 2021, the public saw messages he sent to women that showed his desire for dark and violent activities.
After the post went viral online, the actor remained silent on social media before issuing a statement denying the allegations to People on Wednesday that reads, "I'm not responding to these bullshit claims."
This was followed by allegations that he mistreated romantic partners. After the reports came out, Hammer chose to leave several projects. The actor's part in Next Goal Wins was also completely redone with Will Arnett. After the reports about the allegations spread, the actor became one of the subjects of a documentary series called House of Hammer.
Not only are you traumatized from what he's done, but you're probably traumatized over and over and over. But he needs to be held accountable.
Although his work on Death on the Nile definitely remained in the 2022 film, rumors swirled that the actor was working at a hotel that year. Brendan Fraser. Throughout the 90s and into the early 2000s, Brendan Fraser was an in-demand actor that landed substantial leading roles.
You know your history.
I know my treasure.
but he appeared to be stepping further and further out of the spotlight as he entered the 2010s. While Frasier said health issues and personal trauma contributed to less roles, a 2003 incident has also been linked to his career decline. The actor claimed he'd been inappropriately touched by a high-ranking Golden Globe voter. After Frasier reached out to the organization, he started getting less high-profile roles.
Meanwhile, Frasier says, quote, "I became depressed, I was blaming myself, and I was miserable."
While some reports have cast doubt on whether he was ever formally blacklisted, his resurgence is undeniable. Frasier won fans over in 2019 with his Doom Patrol role before receiving applause and award buzz for 2022's The Whale.
I need to know that I have done one thing right with my life.
Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey's swift fall from grace began when reports emerged that he had behaved inappropriately towards actor Anthony Rapp when the latter performer was young.
One of Hollywood's best-known actors, Kevin Spacey, the latest high-profile star caught up in allegations.
This news story would become just one of many dark stories that would circulate. As Spacey was criticized for coming out as gay when the first allegation came out, numerous reports of his bad behavior emerged.
He did what he did because he knew he'd get away with it.
The accusations led to him being dropped as the lead of House of Cards. Additionally, Christopher Plummer completely replaced Spacey in All the Money in the World. Spacey has managed to land roles in productions like Peter 5'8" in the years since the first story broke. At the same time, he still had to face charges of assault in the UK.
Spacey arrived at court to a large crowd of reporters. Look at this. And he quickly entered the building with his legal team.